Tonight, pieces of Jacksonville's history are in danger, and the Jacksonville Historical Society is pleading with the public for help saving 20 endangered buildings throughout the city.
And as Juliette Dreyer shows us, they're all facing different threats, but without action, the buildings could be lost forever.
Jacksonville's history is turning into dust right before our eyes.
Dr. Wayne Wood gives a dire warning. 20 Jacksonville buildings are in danger, the city's history along with them.
Someone out there is going to see one of these buildings and say, I can put that building to a good new reuse.
That's the goal of the Jacksonville Historical Society's annual list of most endangered buildings. Identify structures most at risk and publicize them in hopes of getting the right attention.
Some by just neglect and the buildings are falling down, some because they've been purchased by a developer that might want to build something else on that site and demolish it, and others just because they're located in awkward spots.
Wood walked me through some of the sites on the 2017 list.
This old fire station was built in 1910, but now it's boarded up. It's been abandoned for about 10 years, and that means its future is in question.
The original brass fire pole is still there.
Wood calls the old fire station number 5 a prime example of Jacksonville's endangered buildings. The brick building dates back to 1910. That's the same year Jacksonville and the beach were first connected by a paved road.
In 1910, you would have seen horse-drawn fire engines.
Its doors, originally built for horse-drawn fire carriages, resized to fit the modern-day mammoths in operation until 2008. Wood sees a future for the building as a restaurant or even a cultural center.
And because it's over 100 years old, it's architecturally significant. We hope that this will be one of the buildings that can be saved for the future of Jacksonville.
From bricks to books.
Built in 1918, the Lydell School has been abandoned for 40 years, but the hope is that someone will take this building and restore it to make it a benefit to the Riverside community.
Once a public elementary school, the Lydell School is now crumbling.
Too great of a building to tear it down, and yet it's in too sorry of a shape just to leave it the way it is.
Just how old is the school? It was built before the first vehicular bridge over the St. Johns River, according to the Jacksonville Historical Society. The Lydell School has long been the subject of local preservation efforts, but its future is now unclear.
It was recently purchased in a tax sale. We have no idea what the new owners are going to do with it.
The hope? Someone will restore it, giving it new purpose. But even Wood admits it's a huge undertaking.
Nobody's been able to figure out the financial package to make it work as an old building.
This is one that you probably wouldn't expect to be on the list, but the Chart House restaurant is actually one of the most endangered buildings in the city.
Proving age doesn't define worth, the upscale restaurant built in 1982 is the newest of all the buildings on the list. But Wood says the work of famed architect Kendrick Bangs Kellogg makes it worthy of a spot.
The building seems to grow up out of the ground, almost like a few volcanoes about to explode, and its swirling geometry makes it unique in the way it's constructed.
Wood says the Chart House was part of a 6-acre purchase by a South Florida developer, and that's why it's in danger.
But the fact that it's on such a prime piece of riverfront property with the potential to develop high-rises on it, we want to make sure out front that the developers know this is one of our most significant landmarks.
Wood is hopeful someone will come along to save the buildings, investing the time and money to give them new life. It's happened before.
Like the Florida Theater, the old Union Terminal train station, even our City Hall, the St. James building, were originally on this list.
And he hopes it will happen again. Until then, he's soaking in the Jacksonville history.
It needs to be fixed up soon, or it will no longer be here.
Before it disappears. Juliette Dreyer, First Coast News.